Hello my wonderful viewers, welcome to my platform. This is Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of coming across this channel and you like what you see after watching, please subscribe, put on your notification bell, set it to all notification. In that way you'll be able to get notified each time I upload a new video, even those without notification. Here we react to all forms of videos, international and local. Every Saturday by 2 p.m. we have our interaction section. You are free to call in to air your opinion about the happenings in our society. Invite your friends, share my videos with your families and colleagues. Do not keep this information to yourself. Myself, I will be sitting down here to watch this video together with you from the beginning to the end. Then we'll go to the comment section and leave our comment, our opinion about the video we watch.
An ECOWAS regional court sitting in Abuja has ordered the Nigerian government to pay $244 million in compensation to those affected by the Biafran war. The court has found the Nigerian government guilty of failing to demine and remove unexploded devices from the 11 states where the civil war was fought between 1967 and 1970. CGTN's Kelechi Emekelem has more.
Applicants and defendants are all seated at the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. They're here to witness the final ruling on a case that has been in the books for 5 years. It's a case that pitted the federal government against post-Biafran war claimants. Most of them have been maimed by mines and explosives left behind by the Biafran war. What's more, vast farmlands have also been abandoned for fear of accidental trigger of explosives scattered in the region. And finally, the government has not just agreed to rid the region of explosives, but also pay those who have suffered the consequences of a war 47 years after.
Not only will there be compensation to people that lost their limbs, that were victims of various explosions, landmines, but also the farmlands will be cleared. The farmlands will be cleared of all these bombs. You know, for 40-something years now, majority of the farmlands in the southeast and south-south has laid fallow because of fear of explosion.
Almost $140 million of the total award would be spent on compensation of war victims, and over $100 million would be spent on demining and destruction of unexploded ordinances.
This is the only regime that had given life to the 3R, the reconciliation, reconstruction and rehabilitation. It has all been words and no action. And so we thank the present regime for taking this bold step, for agreeing to out-of-court settlement.
The Biafran War involved 11 states in southeast and southern Nigeria attempting to break away from the Nigerian state. It lasted only 2 years and 6 months, but the cost was colossal. Over 1 million people were killed, and the scars of the war are still evident nearly 5 decades later. This ruling comes in the wake of fresh calls for Biafran breakaway, and President Buhari has already spoken about it with an uncompromising tone. He said the unity of Nigeria shall not be negotiated, and those pushing for a breakaway shall be dealt with firmly. Kelechi Emekelem, CGTN Abuja, Nigeria.
Him to be released on bail. Chapter 4, Section 39 of the Nigerian Constitution says that every person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart ideas and information without interference. I therefore call upon the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, to uphold his country's constitution, to ensure Nnamdi Kanu's immediate and safe release. As the Nigerian government must guarantee the freedom of expression of all Nigerian citizens, including their right to protest without intimidation and end violence.
You won't hear the president talk. He has never said anything condemning the activity in this country. But you remember when IPOB struck, he didn't take Mr. President up to 1 month to, tag them terrorist group, and they were disbanded. Now, this statement that is coming from Masob now, I won't take it serious. The reason being that in Southeast, we have MISSLEAD and we have IPOB, even though they may not differentiate who is member of MISSLEAD and IPOB. But from a formal point of view, I mean, why I say I would take it serious is that if there is any thing we describe as disturbing in Southeast, it is not coming from the quarter of IPOB, MISSLEAD. It is from IPOB. And IPOB did not come to debunk what Gumi have said here. The question you and I should ask ourselves is in the past 1 month or 2 weeks, is there relative peace in Southeast? If there is relative peace in Southeast, then we may begin to say, okay, it's very possible that Obi's emergence is trying to bring peace. Because there is no way somebody will come up to contest election and is making this wave from my region and I'm putting fire in that particular region.
In 2015, the Jonathan administration was compelled to postpone the election because the terrorists were occupying some local governments in Borno State. Right now, the terrorists are occupying places, local government in Samfara, in Katsina, in Borno and some other places in Niger State. Now, that's problematic. And during elections, if you have such a situation, there are candidates who may say, those are my catchment areas. So you can't go on with the election if you cannot secure the entire country. Wow. There will be a problem there. Right now, I mean, even for the primary, I know a candidate in Samfara who had to come to Abuja to campaign. He couldn't campaign in his state.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you had the recent election in Ekiti State where you had about 25,000 police men and women. That is not possible in a general election. No state is likely to have more than 5,000, police personnel during election. And they cannot secure some of the states today. And that is why people are worried. Because under the Constitution, if the country is waging a war, the election can be postponed. Not more than 6 months at a time. So there are problems already.
Do you see that happening?
Of course. Of course. And without these multiple attacks, and the government is helpless, what do you think will happen? But again, this is where the National Assembly will have to come in.
Well, the National Assembly took a position on, excuse me, you're talking about local governments, took a position and recommended that local governments should be financially, excuse me, and administratively autonomous.
See, it goes beyond that.
Yes, but, if we had the governors agree and the Houses of Assembly pass the bills for the local government autonomy, wouldn't that be something? I also believe that the local government, the governors are averse to it.
It's been passed. In most federations, you really don't have autonomous local governments. But if, as it is in Nigeria, what is important here, before we divert, right? Because that's not the issue. Section 305 of the Constitution requires the president to declare a state of emergency in the situations we have found ourselves. And once that is done, the president will need the approval of the National Assembly. They have to ratify the declaration. And after 6 months, the president must go back to the National Assembly so that they can monitor the situation, review the situation, and decide whether to extend the state of emergency. But right now, it's all illegality that is going on. Without declaring a state of emergency, you are sending troops? No, the law didn't envisage that. The Constitution empowers the president to take extraordinary measures to protect and restore law and order in every part of the country. But that has not happened since 2015. Before then, President Jonathan was going to the National Assembly upon a declaration of a state of emergency, particularly in 3 states then, Borno, Adamawa, and I think Yobe. Now, we've gone to other parts of the country. So, in order to address these problems, the president must declare a state of emergency. The National Assembly must draw his attention to his powers under the Constitution and the limit of his powers. Then you can't just send troops without a state of emergency to go and, stop a student protest or, send soldiers to Lekki. It's unknown to the Constitution.
Well, will he be thinking about the answer he gave to British Prime Minister who asked him if he was going to go for a third term and say, no, I don't want this to be interpreted as though I want to extend my term by declaring of this is or allowing the election to be postponed? That's the president now.
Yeah, the president will, from what he has said, we must believe him, that doesn't want a third term. In fact, the way he said it was that the man who asked for a third term, has not recovered from the shame or the embarrassment. So I want to believe. But the crisis on ground, the president will have to take extraordinary measures to make that impossible, to make extension of his tenure impossible, by calling all the relevant stakeholders to take some decisive measures to restore law and order in the country. Right now, some states, some local governments in the country are occupied. For farmers to go to their farm, they pay ransom. They pay. Some have to recruit young men to follow them to the farm. They pay taxes to criminal elements. You can't hold elections in those places. And so, beyond the assurance to the British Prime Minister, the president must come home and address the crisis of instability, the crisis of insecurity on ground.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.